Coordinator's Corner is presented by JCW's The Burger Boys and Intermountain Health, official medical provider for BYU Athletics.
You're in the Coordinator's Corner, brought to you by JCW's The Burger Boys. Our second half hour of the show begins now with BYU Offensive Coordinator and QB coach Aaron Roderick, who joins me in Studio B, recapping Saturday night's 17-13 home setback versus Kansas. With the loss, BYU now 9-1 on the season, 6-1 in league, but still tied for the Big 12 lead. BYU and Colorado tied atop the conference. This week, BYU at ASU, Colorado is at Kansas. Coach Roderick, good to see you once again.
Good to see you.
All right, what did your scouting report having you think you could do well against KU coming in?
We thought we could control the line of scrimmage, which I felt like we did. We were, I thought, a bigger, more physical team, and thought we did a good job of controlling the game, controlling the line of scrimmage. We just, the story of the game was we had 4 chances in the red zone and didn't get any touchdowns. And that's been one of our strengths this year, is getting touchdowns when we get down there. In this game, we did not do that, and that is the loss is as simple as that. It's just you can't win. You can't win when you get 0 touchdowns in 4 tries in the red zone.
It was 6 points in 4 red zones, right? And
it really, you look at, we did a lot of good things. We had 23 first downs. They had 13. I mean, we had some long sustained drives where we were keep letting our defense rest against a really good offense this year that's been scoring points, and but you have to finish drives, and we did not do that, and that is why we lost.
A couple of players referenced afterward the week of practice and maybe not feeling to them that it was BYU's best week of work on the offensive side of the ball. Were you seeing any of the same thing?
I did. I don't want to use that as an excuse, but I think the emotional and physical toll of the week before took a lot out of us. And again, that's no excuse for anything, but it was not our best week of practice, I would say. And I think it's human nature. There's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of it takes a lot to emotionally and physically bounce back from a game like that Utah game. And it's a great lesson for us. We're going to have to handle it better in the future.
BYU has been winning close games and managing tight situations really successfully this year. How much of the last, let's say, month or so was a bit of playing with fire?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, because you don't plan to be in those situations. You just play the game, and then when you're in them, you do your best to win. And we've, for example, the 2-minute, we've been probably the best. I would dare say there's not a better 2-minute offense in the country than we've been this year. And this game, 2 opportunities, one before the half and one at the end of the game, where we go right down the field in 2-minute offense, and we don't finish. And that was disappointing. But I think I still have a lot of faith in our ability to finish games. We're 9-1, obviously, so we've done a good job finishing games throughout the season, and we just didn't get it done this week.
Since 2016, the fewest possessions BYU's had in a game is 8, and that was the number you had Saturday against Kansas, low possession number. Yeah,
and I did have a feeling before the game that it was going to be a lower possession game. Kansas plays a very slow pace. We've been a pretty slow-paced team this year, and most of the time it's worked for us. We've had a lot of quality, sustained drives where we eat up a lot of clock, score a touchdown, our defense gets to rest, the other team's offense gets frustrated, especially because most offenses want to go fast in this era. But we knew that going against Coach Grimes, he was going to be a slow-paced guy, and it was just going to be one of those games where the possessions would be limited. And in a game like that, you have to capitalize with touchdowns.
All right, you're a team that usually scores first. Let's get into the game. You were trailing 7-0 in this one to start. Your first scoring drive, though, gets L.J. Martin and the run game going.
Yeah, and that was the plan, was to get the run game going, and then we felt like if we did that, we could activate our play-action pass game. And that was another thing, is we usually hit some deep balls, and in this game we missed them. And this season we've been one of the most explosive teams in college football at hitting those long balls, and this night we missed them. But the run game was a huge positive. I thought we ran the ball effectively, and we just have to be able to finish the drives better.
It was your first scoring drive was at the end of that a field goal to make it 7-3. It was the rare game with no red zone touchdowns on the night. It had been a strength, that's the thing. And I know right now your red zone touchdown percentage isn't where you want it at this moment.
Yeah, and mostly due to this game. I mean, prior to that, we were about 67, 70%-ish, right around there. 2 out of 3 is a good number. But we took a step backwards in this game for sure.
Now, the field goal gets you points. The more important thing is you're going to get points on limited possession games, which you did get. You did take a lead, though, in the second quarter. A really nice balanced drive. 5 passes, 3 rushes, a big third down conversion on the jet, I think, to Parker. They reviewed it, right? But he did make the line to gain, and then the very next play, it's Hinckley on the wheel.
Yeah, and that's the same play we scored against Baylor. Threw it to Miles Davis against Baylor. Just dressed the play up a little differently, but it's been a good play. This was a huge block there by Darius on this, basically what's a triple option play for us, and Jake got the ball out quick, and Darius made a huge block. And then it was a good balanced drive. You know, we threw it, run it, mixed up some RPOs and some run game, and then a nice touchdown completion to Hinckley right here.
On the wheel.
Yep, and great drive. Just disappointing that we couldn't get a couple more.
KU would tie the game at 10. You get the ball with 1:46 left in the second quarter. Your team is masterful. Like you hit it earlier. Yeah. The 2-minute has been great all season long, and you go 70 yards in just over a minute to get into scoring position.
Yeah, we almost got down there too fast. It seemed like we went right through them, and then got to the 5-yard line. Called a play that is a play we practice a lot, and just we didn't execute the play.
This is the start of the 2-minute, I think, right?
We started off with a speed option and got us going, and then a couple of good completions to Chase, and then we threw this out route here. I think it was to Keelan. Yeah, that's Keelan, and we're in great position, and I thought just managed the drill well, and just did not finish like we had hoped. But no one's deterred by this, though. We still have a lot of confidence in ourselves. We're scoring 31 points a game this season, and we feel like we can bounce back and do that again this week.
The last play we see there is Tasse to get you to the 5, right?
Yeah, we threw it was a little tight end delay to Tasse, which is an old school BYU play from the 90s, 80s and 90s, and we pulled it, dusted that off. And then the next play, we called a low red zone pass that is a play we own and we've been very successful at over the years. And Jake just wasn't his best throw of the night. It was he knows it. He made a bad throw, and it was really as simple as that on that one.
It's 40 seconds to go. You have 2 timeouts. You have some options with your calls, yeah. But you like Tasse on the corner, and it's not the exact identical play. Maybe it is, but Keanu against SMU for the 2-point. It's a taller player against a shorter player, and Jake said in the postgame to us, just a simple underthrow on that one.
Yeah, he just left the ball too far inside. Tava's not he's not the fastest guy, but you don't need to be here. You have a size advantage. We just want to throw the ball to the back pylon and let him go up for it. It's either incomplete or touchdown. And then we have 2 timeouts left with 3 downs left to get the ball in the end zone. And unfortunately, Jake just underthrew it, and he's been doing a great job for us all year. But that was just a mistake. Bad play.
One of the reasons you defer after winning a coin toss is to control the end of one half, the start of the next, the middle 8. Just not getting points there. I mean, clearly you're counting on at least 3.
Yeah. I mean, it's disappointing for sure.
Yeah. All right, you can get ready for BYU and ASU. We will as well this Saturday with BYU Sports Nation Game Day's expanded pregame coverage starting 2 hours prior to kickoff at 1:30 Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Mountain Time on BYUtv. That's this weekend. When we come back, more with BYU Offensive Coordinator Aaron Roderick. As the Coordinator's Corner continues, we're brought to you by JCW's The Burger Boys. Back with more after this. Welcome back to the Coordinator's Corner, wrapping up our look back at Kansas's 17-13 win at LaVell Edwards Stadium on Saturday night. BYU remains tied for the Big 12 lead with Colorado at 6-1. Cougs are 9-1 overall, heading into a meeting with Arizona State this Saturday in Tempe. Okay, we went into our break after segment 1 with Coach Roderick with BYU and Kansas tied 10-10 at halftime. BYU gets the ball to begin the second half. It was your only drive of the third quarter, as it turned out. Longest drive duration of the Kalani Sitake era, 10:26. It includes 1 third down conversion, 1 fourth down conversion. It gets you back into the Kansas red zone. It was a heck of a drive.
Yeah, story of the night, though. It was a great drive. I think we did a lot of good things on that drive. We controlled the line of scrimmage. We were very physical. Had some good conversions in that drive. But disappointing not to finish with a touchdown.
You've often talked about different situations where if you're in the lead, let's say, you're counting possessions for the other team.
Yeah.
In this kind of game, were you, as you're in the middle of the drive, going, How many more drives is each team going to get here?
Yes, that started early in the fourth quarter. We start kind of calculate how many possessions we have left. This drive, we're not thinking about that at all. We're just trying to do our thing and go get a touchdown, and I thought we made a lot of good plays. I was proud of the way we executed until, once again, that low red zone area was just not good for us this week.
You got a field goal, and you take a lead. You're up 13-10. The defense forces Kansas into a 4th and 14 at the BYU 36 on the ensuing possession. You're probably getting into your call sheet for the next offensive possession. Correct. You're probably going to get backed up, but you're going to be playing on offense. You never got that possession because of the muff on the weird deflection on the quick kick. Yeah,
that was a freak play. I mean, you could punt that thing 10,000 times and not hit our player in the helmet. and then I would also say, Jacob Robinson's such a great football player. He's gonna fall on that ball 99 times out of 100. He's gonna come up with that ball, and it just wasn't. It was one of those games where we didn't finish the game. We didn't execute well enough, and that was a freak thing right there. That was probably the freakiest play of the game for sure.
Easily. Your next 2 drives ended in punts, but outstanding work by the BYU defense gets you the ball back with 4:47 to play and needing a touchdown to take a lead. With that amount of time left, was your objective simply to score, or to score with the right amount of time left at that point?
Well, the first objective is to score, yes, but it'd be nice to score and not leave the other team with much time, which I thought we did a good job of that. We put ourselves in position by taking a fairly methodical drive down the field, and once again, the story of the game, we got ourselves in good position and just were not able to finish it out the way we should. And like we've been doing all year.
This final drive we're seeing, it covered 71 yards in just over 4 minutes, 4 double-digit yard gains in the first 5 plays, and we're seeing them here. It got you down to the KU 15 pretty quickly. Those chunk plays got you where you wanted to be in a hurry.
It did, and we had an explosive play 1 in every 4.5 plays in this game. So again, we did a lot of good things, but you have to finish the drive with a touchdown, and that will be, we're not going to panic about it because it's something we've been very good at all season, but we will definitely have everybody's attention this week about that.
So from the 15-yard line, about 2 minutes left, right? Your first down, what were you trying to get done on this next sequence of plays? We'll see.
Well, we want to get the ball in the end zone, and we ran the ball really well these last few plays. So we ran it again right here. We had an error, blocking scheme error, and then this play, they went basically cover 0, and the safety came down fast. And then our option play right here, we should have gone the other direction with it. And it doesn't matter though. We still were in good position to finish the game, and had a couple of unfortunate just lack of execution on the last couple plays.
On the 4th and 6, there was that weird false start where the snap came late, and it looked like, the rhythm and the clap and everything else. What went wrong on that one?
Yeah, just a false start, just a little late with the snap. Connor's a great player. He's been a great player for us.
By the way, how good to have him back, by the way.
It's awesome to have him back. So then I don't want to make it seem like this one play lost us the game, because that is not the case at all. This is a team game. It's all 11 guys have to execute. We did have a good play call there. And then, this last play, just Chase was a couple yards short of the marker. By design, we're supposed to have Chase right there at the marker, and then we have Darius bending in behind him in the end zone, and just came up a little short.
An extra 5 yards means something, though. They're not played clearly.
It does.
Yeah. You alluded to the 2-minute prowess earlier, and on that final drive, again, you're quickly down the field. What's the right balance for you, do you think, moving forward between, man, we're good when we're fast, but we're also really good when we're methodical, and sometimes situation says you do one or the other?
Yeah, I think when you have a game like this, you start to question everything really easily, and I think the more measured approach is to say we're scoring 31 points a game this season. We're 9-1. We don't need drastic change. We just need to finish drives better this week, and I've been saying for weeks we need to play a little better on 3rd down. That's definitely a goal. But we've been good at finishing drives all year. We don't need major change. We just need to have good practices this week and get ready to go beat the Sun Devils.
But you have to love the way your team plays when there's a sense of urgency and they got to go, because you're really playing well.
There is, and I think what you just mentioned is we are a team that can win any style of ball game. If we get into a shootout, we can go fast and we can throw it, and we can score points in a fast manner. If we're in a slugfest where it's a game where we got to grind it out, we can win those type of games too.
With 8 possessions.
Yeah, and we've proven that we can win those type of games as well this year. And I think to play at a championship level and win a conference championship, you have to be able to do both. You can't be a one-trick pony offensively. And so we will stick with what we're doing, and we're going to go play better this week.
Jake Retzlaff told us in the postgame, yeah, he missed some throws he normally makes, but he made some great throws too on the night.
He did. He played, he made some good plays, but he knows it wasn't his best game. And I think that's what I love about Jake, is how accountable he is to his teammates. One of the big differences in the game, as I mentioned earlier, is we didn't land our long balls. We've been hitting deep balls at a really high percentage this season. And those explosive plays are usually touchdown catches, or they set up touchdown catches. And this game, we didn't hit them. And I'm confident that Jake will land those the next chance he gets.
How fine is the line right now between your 30s and 40s and the low 20s and teens from the last couple of weeks here?
It's finishing in the red zone. We had 4 chances. If you get 3 out of 4 touchdowns there, that's 21 more points. You're feeling really good and winning by 2 scores. And if we even just get 2 touchdowns out of 4, and maybe one, it's just a totally different ball game. And so that's been the difference.
Let's go back to the O-line for a minute. Let's reiterate the fact that Connor Pay did get back after going out in the Baylor game. How is it to have him back, both locker room and field, and how do you feel he acclimated himself with his first action in a while?
Great to have him back. Connor's a very good player, veteran player. He gets everybody going in the right direction. I thought he did a lot of good things in the game, just getting our blocking schemes organized with the calls he makes. And I'm super glad to have him back.
Didn't have Braden Keim. You lose your right tackle in the Utah game. Isaiah Jada came in that game and started in this game, and you ID'd Isaiah as maybe your offensive player of the week for this past week.
Yeah, he played very well. 2 weeks in a row, he's played really well. He finished the Utah game, played awesome in that last game-winning drive, and then this game he graded out very high and was just a real positive from this game. Was just his play.
A 6'6", 320-pound senior, transferred from Colorado, right?
Yeah, he's actually redshirted.
Because he'll have one more year, right?
Correct. We redshirted him this year. You can play up to 4 games, so we held him out.
Plus postseason,
yeah,
right?
We held him out all year. We hope he was going to play in a case of emergency. He was ready to play, but
and he was.
He was ready every game, and then we didn't have to put him in until the Utah game. So his red shirt stays intact, and I expect him to be one of our starting tackles next season. That's
pretty cool the way that turned out. If you needed him one game earlier, then the red shirt plan goes away.
If you wait till you get to know him, he is an unbelievable kid. Just a really smart football player, great teammate. So happy he joined our team.
And was I right in speaking about that? It's 4 games plus any postseason?
Correct, yeah. 4 games plus postseason doesn't count. So we have a couple of young players too who are redshirting that we could potentially use in postseason, depending on how things go.
All right, excellent. Coming up after our break, well, first of all, we remind you going into break that you can watch BYU Sports Nation for your Cougar sports day-to-day play-by-play with Jerem and Spencer weekdays at noon Eastern on BYUtv and radio. When we come back, some closing thoughts from BYU Offensive Coordinator Aaron Roderick. As the Coordinator's Corner continues, we are brought to you by JCW's The Burger Boys. Back with more after this. You're in the Coordinator's Corner, brought to you by JCW's The Burger Boys, heading down the stretch in the 2024 college football season. Next Monday's show will be our season finale. All 3 coordinators will be on with us. All right, BYU tied for the Big 12 lead, 9-1 overall, 6-1 in conference. This week at ASU, the Sun Devils 8-2 and 5-2. First meeting since a BYU home win in 2021. That was the Tyler Algier punch-out game, as I recall, right?
The one.
That was the one. All right, wrapping up today's show with BYU Offensive Coordinator Aaron Roderick. By the way, speaking of that game, Jaden Daniels, NFL starting quarterback, Ricky Pearsall, NFL starting wide receiver, Tyler Algier, NFL running back. There was a lot of good players in that game. Rashad White, Buccaneers starting running back.
I think the 8 of the starters on that defense are in the NFL right now, on Arizona State's defense from that game. We actually counted it up recently because Tyson McDaniel coached there, and so he knew a lot of those guys. And
on both sides of the ball, there were a ton of NFL guys in that game.
Both of the corners, one of the safeties, all the D linemen, all in the NFL. That was an outstanding defense. And then you had Jaron Hall against Jaden McDaniel.
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. That was that was a heck of a game.
That game was loaded, absolutely. And it was one of those nights, too, where LaVell Edwards Stadium was just rocking, and it affected their play at the rock end. And it was.
We had a chance to kick a field goal or go for the win at the end, and we went for the win and threw a touchdown pass to put them, to bury them. It was pretty fun.
It was a blast. All right, the loss to Kansas. Obviously, you hope it turns into, the phrase blessing in disguise, some kind of positive here this week and moving forward. How does it become that for you?
Well, it's just a chance to look at, things you can do better. I think it's a good chance for everybody in the whole program to be accountable for ways they can improve. And our whole motto this whole season on offense is just get a little better each week. And I feel like we did that all season long. And then this week we took a little step backwards. And so it's just there's not a time for panic at all. We've done a lot of good things as a football team to get to 9-1. There's a lot of teams that wish they were 9-1 and in first place and in control of their own destiny right now. So no one's going to panic. We're just going to keep working, and it's that's games like this are why you play. I mean, this is what it's all about, and we can't wait.
You mentioned earlier having to shake off the Utah effect, positive after effects, and maybe being a little sluggish during the week with some guys. How can this be a better week of practice for you? How do you go about getting that from the guys?
Well, losing hurts. I mean, it doesn't feel good at all, and so I think that if that doesn't up your sense of urgency a little bit, then you shouldn't be involved in this sport. And so, but I know our players, they will show up ready to go, and we'll be ready to play on Saturday.
I mentioned it with Coach Hill, but nobody saw BYU and ASU being a fight for the conference championship when this season, back in August.
Yeah, and that's what you love about college football is, in the Big 12 in specific. I mean, every single week, every team in the conference is good enough to beat each other on any given day. And we got tripped up on Saturday. The games like that have happened all season long. And but we're still in a great position, and this is exciting. Two teams that people thought weren't going to be any good are playing for a chance to go to the championship.
The national observers say, well, BYU lost a game, there goes the Big 12 at large. But the Big 12, you've been in it long enough already, just in 2 years, to know it's a good football league. Maybe it doesn't get the respect it deserves nationally because week to week, top to bottom, it's a strong conference, I think.
For sure. It's a physical conference. I think, I spent a lot of years in the Pac-12, and I think the physicality of this league, it's not even close to what my experience was in the Pac-12. I think these teams are, and then just we're so I guess there's no just dominant team. Every single week anybody can beat each other, and that makes it fun.
How about ASU's win at Kansas State this past week? What did that tell you?
Very impressive. I have not played at Kansas State, but I know that's one of the tougher venues in our conference, and to go on the road there and do what they did, very impressive.
Middle of the pack ASU defense, very good offense, maybe a keep pace kind of game, potential for a shootout, but I say that knowing that Jay Hill just locked down Kansas, so whatever it takes to win, you'll try and do that. But that said, what do you kind of see from ASU?
I see a very aggressive defense, very athletic, very good at what they do, and they're aggressive now. They get after it. They play really hard, a lot of pressure, a lot of man coverage, and good defense for sure. A couple
of personnel notes for you. We talked about the offensive line situation. At that right guard spot, did Sonny Makasini go most of the way on Saturday? Leusa, what was the situation?
Leusa, yeah. I think he played the whole game. I'm pretty sure. I'm not.
Okay, so Leusa at right guard, but Sonny's available. Bruce Mitchell's available.
Sonny's available, and there's almost no drop off when Sonny's in there, so we feel great about him.
Did I see Cody Epps get in for a snap or two maybe on Saturday?
Yeah, he played a few plays.
So he's back.
He's back, I would say close to 100%. Back enough that Fest put him in for a few plays, and hopefully we can just keep bringing him along and getting him back to 100%.
All right, well, it's a huge week, but they all are this time of the year when you're 9-1 and ranked where you are. So best of luck in the prep. We'll see you down in Tempe. Good luck against Arizona State.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Greg.
All right, that is Coach Aaron Roderick, and that'll do it for Week 11 of the Coordinator's Corner. For Coaches Hill and Roderick and our entire crew, reminding you that next week it is our season finale. All three coordinators on the show. Till next week, I'm Greg Wrubell. Go Cougs.